Hello and welcome to the Deader Dudes. I'm Izzy.
Rocco. PBJ.
We're here with our part 2 of our delving into ghosts, the paranormal, spirits, and everything in between. So let's start. Take it away, PBJ.
Well, continuing on the series of ghosts, apparitions, and all things unexplained, we're going into sharing more stories about the paranormal, our experiences with maybe apparitions or spirits from the other side. I guess I'll start this off with a very quick story. I actually just came from a wake last night.
That's crazy.
Unfortunately, I didn't really know the people. I was just sort of a plus one. So I came, my wife's friend's friend, a young guy, younger than us, passed away.
With a tragic?
Yeah.
I mean, it's always tragic.
It's always tragic. I believe either kidney or cancer of the kidney.
Oh.
But yeah, he was in hospice care. But they, at the wake, the brother and the family, they shared some stories that you always hear something of this ilk regarding, especially a very, very close person to you. So one of the stories, just to start us off.
Okay.
The father of the poor young man died a long time ago when the kid was he was maybe 4 or 5, really young.
Right.
So we never really knew him. But when they were cleaning out all the stuff, the person's belongings, they found the father's passport from like 30 years ago. It's just kind of coincidental. And then they shared a story about how they knew that everything was going to be okay. So the morning or the afternoon of the passing, they go to the funeral, to the cemetery rather, and they are trying to inquire about getting a lot, a cemetery lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Sadly, they haven't been to the funeral, to the cemetery to find the father's, or to visit the father's plot in so many years that they kind of said, "Can you do us a favor and look it up?" And they looked it up, and it turns out the father is buried in a section of the cemetery that's been closed off for years.
No reason,
But just this week or recently, opened it up to put sort of like take out old lots.
It's like what a coincidence.
What a coincidence! You all know how I feel about coincidences. I don't really believe
there are none.
There are no coincidences.
There are no coincidences. Everything is meant for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
That's another can.
A section of the cemetery not visited in years, actually closed off to the public. Then they say, "Hey, what's the chances we can get the son close to the father?"
Right.
So the lady takes the family out to see where exactly the cemetery is, and she's on the way there. I guess to her, she's got to cover herself too. She was saying, "I don't know if we can get you close to your dad."
Right.
No, of course. Yeah.
So they happen to go there, and they find the foreman who's in charge, and the guy comes out of nowhere and says, "You know what? We can get you right close, like a block up 1 or 2 plots away." And it's like they kind of when things line up like that, it's kind of like, whoa, hey, other forces at work.
Yeah, it's like almost it was meant to be. I mean, in kind of a sick, twisted way,
So in a way, that was a really nice way to sort of make all the people grieving at the event to sort of feel okay, or that things will be okay. I just wanted to start that off. Go ahead,
well, that's an interesting little play on it. Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, I remember as kids playing in Queens, we were in Flushing Meadow Park.
Okay.
And we had, we're out too late, we're on our bikes. We were by, if anybody out there knows Queens and Corona Park, by the old amphitheater.
Yes,
largely abandoned spot.
Where this guy hit a home run off me. We used to play soft baseball out there, and it was
the old
World's Fair Arena.
The old World's Fair Arena,
yeah.
Where I hit home run off of a PBJ.
It was the most beautiful home run I've ever seen, but unfortunately it was off me.
But I mean, back in those times, I think it was largely not policed, not monitored. And I remember stumbling on, maybe I tripped. I think I tripped on my bike or I was going over something that crunched. Then all of a sudden, we don't have cell phones at the time, we don't have flashlights, but as your pupil adjusts with the moonlight, you see bones, and you get
I call bullshit on that.
you get
No,
your surroundings. He was with me, and you get surroundings with you, and then you see and you felt, without knowing where we were, I felt something heavy, something watching, something. I don't
Yeah.
want to say evil, but
No.
for lack of another word, not good. Like a weight on you.
No, it was.
And
it
then
was,
we look further. It's chicken bones. It's animal bones. It's the circle, the star. It was a satanic cult place, but we didn't know that. But at the moment while we're there, like, I got this, your hair in the back of your
Oh
neck.
no,
or something.
I knew that.
He may have. I didn't know, but I just felt freaked. The first thing I wanted to do just get back on the bike and haul ass out of it.
Wow.
It felt like Stranger Things meets Pet Cemetery. It was. We got there because we were on our BMXs driving around Flushing Meadow, and we were two other friends from grade school.
Creepy. Creepy.
And we come across, and the ground is all burnt in a pentagram, and there's don't want to be graphic, but there were like animal
A lot of animal parts.
hanging, like they were hung.
Now look, we're not condoning or we're not saying
No,
that,
absolutely not.
We're just simply describing the scene.
But there's a segment of society.
Or all
There
that.
is a segment of society that believes
We're
spiritual
just saying that
side.
at that moment, they felt a certain way.
The spiritual side has both, black, white, and gray, just like everything else.
Yeah, of course.
But to feel it without really appreciating where you were and what was happening, I mean, it's a feeling.
Well, that leads me to another topic, or it's all
Related.
encompassing. But how do you feel about haunted places or places that are quote unquote evil, or places that things have happened and you feel a certain way?
I'm gonna quote The Shining. People remember, places remember. And I don't, and I think if we're all, to bring it down to its bare essentials, whatever your religious view is, we can agree that we're all some form of energy.
Yeah.
Energy leaves a mark. Energy may change its form, but it always leaves a residue, a shadow, a remnant that it was there. And I think that is, without getting on the whole religious aspect of this or spiritual, the energy leaves a mark.
Right.
They say that about, what is that in the South? The Trail of Tears?
Trail of Tears.
They say that if you partake in the, I don't want to say tourist, right? The passing by, and you go through the trail, that you actually feel this. You basically feel a slow butchering of people along this very horrible, dark part of American history society. But I mean, it was a slaughter.
Have you guys heard of
Gettysburg? The same thing.
I mean, if I butcher the spelling, I apologize, or the pronunciation. Povlig Island in Venice.
No,
I mean,
please
it
fill
could be.
me
Could
in.
be. All right.
Tell us more.
Sorry. Supposedly, during the plague, they sent people who were sick onto this island to quarantine.
Basically to die.
Basically to quarantine them from the regular population.
Not like today, Corona.
Supposedly, 50% of the soil there is human remains.
What?
And to this day, people are not allowed on the island. And
You can't do like a Ghost
it's
Adventures
illegal
or-
to set foot on the island.
It's Chernobyl Island.
Yeah, it was created as a quarantine outpost for Venetians who were living with the plague.
Wow.
No, but they did similar things throughout history with leprosy.
Yeah.
Leprosy communities and you're
Well, we know we have
basically
the whole thing.
condemned to die.
With Chernobyl, you can't go there. You can go to a
I
certain
really
level.
want to, unless we want to come up with a third
Well, I
hour.
mean, they had that movie. I mean,
Chernobyl Diaries.
It was
Good. I thought
great.
it was a good movie.
The idea was good. The execution was bad. We'll get into that on another episode. But
Stay tuned.
Well, like you had just mentioned in the previous episode with the haunted doll, Annabelle, the movie The Exorcist, and other accounts, numerous people stepped forward with tremendous credibility that these events of possession can't be explained otherwise.
Right.
Meaning medically. It's not, there's a chemical imbalance. There's not a psychological issue going on. There's not an underlying trauma or event or post-traumatic syndrome playing out. They can't explain it. Yet, manifestation of certain signs, certain things come out during this possession, modern medicine cannot explain.
Right.
Stigmata, levitation, different tongues, goes on and on and on. But it's been eyewitness account. Why would anyone bear their name to it, knowing that they would get smeared through the papers and their reputation ruined if they didn't 100% believe, oh, this is happening?
Now, to play devil's advocates, a lot of hoaxes have been
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
People,
of course.
human nature. There's
Especially
no single
nowadays,
answer to
I
the
mean, our
situation.
phones can create. They can create. You know, you can make anything
True.
happen real.
Yeah.
Now, with the advent of Photoshop and all these programs, you can manipulate any picture to your liking, but there's certain things that, you know, like give you the heebie-jeebies. I mean, you know.
Oh, well, like that island. Is there any stories about...
Now look, there's an island in Mexico called La Isla de los Muertos. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. You know, there was a young girl who drowned in a lake that the canals used to be in. From there was an older man named Don Julio Santana, who he dedicated his life to honoring the lost little girl. He used to leave teddy bears where supposedly she died.
This is
Okay.
great.
And teddy bears and dolls on the trees for her. And eventually they took over the whole island. There were dolls and teddy bears all over
everywhere.
the whole island. Now, somehow in 2001, Santana drowned.
How...
And he drowned near where she drowned.
So it begs the question, is this self-realized manifestation?
Self-fulfilling prophecy?
Yeah, that you believe it to be true. It has consumed you that in a subconscious way.
I mean, you guys can look it up. I mean, it's creepy.
No,
it's creepy as all heck.
Well, I don't want to see the picture. Just the image alone of
Photos.
thousands of stuffed animals all over the place. You know, that does merit some investigation to see where this guy's head is at.
Well, I
Because
mean,
it seems so consumed. I mean, beyond, almost to the point that it is...
If we make it to a 1-year podcast anniversary on this show,
I will make it.
if we're gonna make it, then
Want to take a trip down?
No, yeah,
Are we taking a field trip
We're
to-
going to take one field. We're gonna have to be careful
To
about
this
where we
island?
pick because travel may be restricted in a year.
How about maybe we go to Suicide Forest in Japan?
Travel may be restricted in a year.
You know what? I wouldn't mind leaving it up to the fans to vote where we go.
That's not a bad idea.
All you guys comment down below.
Hit us up.
Hit us up. Let us know where we should go for our 1-year anniversary.
And
All
we'll,
right.
we'll do our own investigation, and
Well,
hopefully we come back. Anyway,
we're packing holy water, garlic, and a steak.
I mean, I think we need more than holy water and steak. I mean, so.
Change
But,
underwear.
so what? Before we leave that thing,
Yeah.
I'm just curious, and sometimes we can't understand the motives, but if he was honoring,
Yeah.
why would anything bad happen to him? Do you know what I mean? It was
Wait,
he was doing at least from an objective point of view,
Right.
he wasn't violating the area.
No, but what is cause of death here? Actual drowning?
supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, but drowning is like the mode. But was the individual
Pushed.
voluntarily?
Well, I guess we don't know. I mean,
We'll
weren't
never
there.
know
We'll
that,
never
you
know.
know.
I mean, it makes for a good, ghost story. I guess.
Yeah, great.
Makes for a
story.
good,
If they do an
done it,
autopsy,
but I mean, for all we know, and this is not, I don't want to be negative Nancy here, but
Nancy.
but you want to know some questions. If you
it's
wanna-
like, okay, how do we really know that he died there? How do we really know that this happened? Who were the people all around, and then why?
Yeah, well, that's true. Were there
You know what I mean?
witnesses? Were there who did the
what was
autopsy? Was there an
behavior
autopsy?
predating this event?
Exactly. I mean,
Was
maybe
there
the dude was some
sketchy
crazy dude
concerning-
who liked dolls, you
Yeah.
know?
Did he leave any warning signs or alluded to that this was his plan? Or it just so happened when they slipped on a
Maybe
rock?
some aliens came down and told him to do it.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's Aliens podcast number 51, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I know this was a short, very short little episode, but actually what we're gonna do, we're gonna make this a series. Every week we're gonna give you another dose of ghosts and paranormal and spirits and everything. So, we can just ingest it in little doses, and we could enjoy it that much better.
Actually, feel free to send us any of your own personal anecdotes.
Yeah, and we'll share them. We'll share them on the podcast.
100%. The podcast. You could see us on our YouTube. You could follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, yada yada yada.
Tell us your stories.
Dudes, and tell us the stories. And if you like it, if you think
like
we're
us,
crazy,
share, and subscribe. Thank you very
exactly.
much.
So this is Izzy.
Rocco.
PBJ.
Save the whales.